Welcome to the Leverage Show. This is Brett Ingram. And I want to know, how does the word deadline make you feel? Because to me, it's like a four-letter word, or maybe two four-letter words jammed together into an eight-letter word. If the word deadline is something that you really don't like, if it's something that sort of gets a negative reaction when you start to think about it, because you start to feel pressure, you start to feel confined, you start to feel like all of a sudden, instead of the freedom that you wanted in your lifestyle to be a business owner, it feels instead like imprisoning. Well, I want to help you try to shift your focus here and shift your mind frame on that, because here's the thing. I was always somebody who was anti-deadline. I always wanted to have everything on my own terms, sort of do it when I'm going to do it. And when I started my own business and I was working on things, I was always sort of just doing it based on impulse. So whenever I felt like, oh, this is what I got to get done today, or this is what I want to focus on today, and that was very gratifying. It felt great to be able to say, you know what, I don't have a boss. I don't have anybody looking over my shoulder telling me exactly what I need to do and when I need to do it. This is awesome. Like, I'm going to do things on my terms. I'm going to do them when I want to do them. And that's really going to be the end of it. And for a bit of time, I was able to be successful that way. It worked, and I was able to build my business from zero to a certain level, to a level where I could actually, make a living, so to speak, by doing it. And so, depending on where you are, okay, if you're just starting out, then that may actually work for you short term. But here's the danger, and this is what I want to share with you in terms of why this is actually so important that you shift the way that you're looking at it. So, I always looked at schedules and deadlines and all of those kinds of things as confining. Look, I'm a hard worker. What do I need to mess with this stuff for? I'll just bang this stuff out, and when I get it done, it'll be done. And it'll be done faster than what everybody else should be able to do because I'm just that great, right? Well, here's the problem with it. There's a psychological principle, and what basically ends up happening is if you don't set a deadline, or if you set a deadline that's so far out that you don't feel any pressure, you don't feel any sort of confinement or restriction or stress about getting it done, then there's a problem. Because what will end up happening is schedule creep. What will end up happening is things that you could have got done in a week will take 2 weeks. Things that you could have got done in 2 weeks will take a month. And slowly but surely, every single thing in your business will start to take longer and longer to get it done. Your productivity will ultimately go down, but you'll feel busy. You'll feel like you're getting things done, only the projects aren't getting done on time. The schedules are not being met. And it's very hard to grow. Again, the illusion of this is that when you first start out, you can get away with this. If you're a one-person show, there's really only so much you can do anyway. So you can sort of will your way to do it in the beginning. But if you want to grow past that, if you want to get to a point where you have a bigger business and you're making more money and, all of those kinds of things, if you want growth beyond sustainable daily income, then you need to actually change the way that you look at it. You need to start creating deadlines, and you need to start making, a pressurized situation where you have a deadline to get things done. Because what will happen is if you allow yourself 4 weeks for something that you could get done in 2, it will take you 4 weeks to get it done. It's just a psychological principle. Your mind will automatically adjust the amount of work that you need to get done and the amount of distractions that you can handle and everything else, so you get it just get it done on time. And if you conversely change that and you shorten your deadlines and you do things faster than you even thought you possibly could, what you'll find is the opposite effect. While you feel pressure and stress on a daily basis to get those things done that are milestones along the path, what you'll find is you actually become a lot more productive. You get a lot more done in less time. And when you do that, you're obviously able to grow, make your business much more effective, and make a lot more money. So all of those things sort of play together. But it actually even goes beyond that. Because, first of all, once you establish the habit of setting deadlines and then reaching to hit those deadlines and really making a commitment to meet those deadlines, it develops the habit of productivity, the habit of success. And that's really important in business, both for yourself, but also if your business grows and you start adding employees and you start doing more projects and more things, you're going to need to be more hands-off. You can't be involved on the day-to-day grind on every single project that's going on in your business. So if you have a situation where you've got multiple teams or you have multiple projects going on at one time, and everyone is accustomed in your business and they're conditioned to work on deadlines and tight deadlines where everything is a stretch and everyone's being pushed, that's actually a really good thing. Because what it does is it encourages high performers. High performers love that kind of environment. They thrive on it. And they will gravitate to you and they will want to work for you. Whereas if everything is sort of done on a, well, we'll get it done whenever we get it done sort of basis, there's no real rush. It will get there someday. Anybody who's a high achiever and a high performer will not feel good in that kind of culture. They will not feel good in that environment and they will eventually leave. You will lose your best people because of that. There's a very famous idea that always stuck with me that I heard when I was younger, and I believe the guy's name is John Maxwell, and he's a preacher and a public speaker and a motivational guy. And if you've never heard or seen his things before, I highly recommend it. He's a really, really great speaker, and he's super motivational. But one of the things that he talked about is what he calls the law of the lid. And the basic principle of it is this. As a leader, if you are, let's say we're going to rank your ability as a leader from 1 to 10. If you are a 6 in terms of effectiveness and ability to inspire people and all these other, traits and qualities, but just overall, say you're a 6 out of 10. And you go out there and you hire a bunch of people. If you hire people that are 2s and 3s, no problem. They'll stay in your company forever because you inspire them, you motivate them. They look up to you like, wow, I could never do what he or she is doing. But you're also not going to be very successful because the people that you're hiring are not very productive. Now, on the other side of it, if you go out and you hire a bunch of 9s and 10s, first of all, you get a gold star for that because it's not easy to find those kinds of people. And if you've been able to identify them and bring them into your business, congratulations, that's awesome. But here's the warning. If you're a 6 and they are 9s or 10s, they also are not going to be there very long. They're going to become extremely frustrated with the way things run. They're going to feel extremely limited by the way things are set up and by the standards that are in your company and in your business. They're going to look around and they're going to say, I don't really belong here. These people are not the same level of high achievement as I am. Now, they may not say that consciously to themselves, but they're not going to feel satisfied. And if they don't feel satisfied and they don't feel rewarded and they don't feel valued for what they bring to the table, they will go and find a place that meets those needs for them. Because the thing of it is, if 9s and 10s don't need to be in any particular environment, they can pick and choose where they want to go. They're in high demand everywhere they go. They're top achievers. They, produce tremendous results. So they're not limited by the economy or by some company that they work for or anything else. They can come and go as they please, and they can always find other jobs. And so all of this relates back to that same idea. And it's the idea of running a productive environment. And as much as it sort of bucks against our natural instinct to want to have freedom and make our own schedule and all those other cliches about running your own business, while that's true, you still have to set a schedule. You can pick it. You can make your own schedule, but pick one. Don't just let things kind of go and fall as they come and we'll figure it out as we go along. because that sort of gunslinging mentality will dramatically limit your results. I know for me, it was my biggest stumbling block. I was excellent at building a business from zero to the point that I could, make an income on it. But to get from that level to the next level was a really difficult challenge for me, because it was about being able to outsource. It was about being able to delegate. It was about being able to let go of control, but also put some measurements in place, put deadlines in place, and structure. And structure was something that I always sort of intuitively fought against. It would trigger my gag reflex. I don't want that kind of thing. But in reality, it makes you a lot more productive. So instead of fighting against it, embrace it. Do it on your terms, but do it. Find ways to set realistic but push goals and deadlines for all the projects and things that you want to accomplish. And you will find that in the course of 3 months, you completely transform your business and you transform everybody inside of it as well. As always, if you have any questions or comments, share them with me at leverigeshow.com. And until next time, make it happen.